In addition, you may not tap finger or thumb holes of the wall during competition with rods. Once tournament play begins, there's no flash photography permitted or lights used for video cameras. Artificial noisemakers are also prohibited. As a reminder, USBC Collegiate does not condone the use of alcohol and tobacco. Student athletes are prohibited from possessing and using alcohol and tobacco products at the hotel, bowling center, and all event-related functions, whether they're competing or not. Smoking in the bowling center during competition is strictly prohibited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the best collegiate athletes in the country a big send-off as they begin their qualifying block. Good luck, good bowling. Brunswick, we are now ready to begin. Players, you have arrows, you may now begin.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage of the Intercollegiate Singles Championships presented by X Bowling. Qualifying getting underway here.
All right.
Game number 1 of 8 getting started. And after qualifying, the players will be seated into the bracket, which will have competition this afternoon. So for game 1, we've got Samantha Johnson and Elise Bolton on our women's pair. Our men's pair, Ryan Grayowitz and Gabriel Garcia, as well as James Tucker. And we are live at the Reno Sparks Convention Center in Reno, Nevada. A few miles south of downtown Reno, where the National Bowling Stadium is located. This venue is the host for the USBC Women's Championships that's going on currently. Women's Championships taking a little bit of a break here so that the Collegiate Championships can take part on these specially constructed lanes here at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. So they're going to bowl 8 games of qualifying, and then the 8-game totals are going to determine seeding for the bracket competition. And bracket play will get underway this afternoon at, I believe it's scheduled for 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, so that'd be what, 3:45 out east? And then, of course, the Intercollegiate Team Championships will get underway on Wednesday. We'll have live coverage for you on Wednesday and Thursday. Tape the TV shows for the singles and the team on Friday here, and that'll air on on Tuesdays on CBS Sports Network in the month of May. we're just underway, first game here at the Intercollegiate Singles. Appreciate everybody taking some time to tune in this morning as we get started. You'll be able to click on the scores on the link right below the video you're watching here. That'll have updated scores as they become available. And there is live scoring available as well from X Bowling. We've got a link to that on the results page, and you can go on there and see the scores for any lane in the convention center. So all of the men's pairs have 3 on a pair, and all of the women's pairs just have 2. So the women are likely going to bowl a little bit faster and finish sooner than the men will today. Question in our chat, can I give you a hint on the pattern, or is it still a secret? I have no information on what pattern they're using I do know that they're using a different pattern for the men and a different pattern for the women. At least that's what I was told. The players do not know the pattern. They were not given any information on the pattern before they started. And they won't have any information on it until presumably after the event ends. And it's the same thing for the team championships as well. Looks like Chris Vi on the men's side has the front 5 down on lane 27. Thomas York down on lane 38 has spare 7-bagger. So you got a couple of guys out there that have a chance for big scores here in the first game. Elise Bolton just threw a double. She's bowling pretty good. Couple spares, the rest strikes. Don't really see anybody else popping a big game here on the women's side. Some potential out there. Jamie Watson can shoot 256 if she strikes out. Danielle McEwen and Diana Zavialova down on 7 and 8 can both shoot in the 230s this game if they strike out in the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships qualifying Game 1 from the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Players move lanes after each game, so I believe that we should see all of the players at some point today because there's 8 pairs and they're bowling 8 games. So theoretically, all of the players in the field should be on the live streaming at least one game here in qualifying this morning. Well, it looks like Jamie Watson will be our leader on the girls' side, on the women's side after game 1. She's going to be at 2:55. Thank the folks at X Bowling for supporting college bowling and offering their sponsorship of the singles and the team championships. You can find out more about X Bowling at xbowling.com, and you can also search for X Bowling on in your app store and download their app, which is pretty cool. You can play contests, win prizes, all kinds of stuff. Just search for X Bowling in your app store or whatever app store, Google Play, whatever you've got on your phone to get apps. Just search for X Bowling. It should come up. So Elise Bolton with 221. Ryan Graywitz with 188. James Tucker at 200. That's our featured pairs wrap up here in game 1. Samantha Johnson can get to 192. She picks up this split and just misses it. So an open in the 10th for Samantha. She shoots 180. Garcia Ranelli Weber International going to be at, see here, 215 if he converts the spare. for game 2, on our featured pair for the women, we're going to have Danielle McEwen and Michaela Douglas. And someone was asking how much they move. They just move, left lane moves left, right lane moves right, just one pair to the right, because they're going to cover all 8 pairs anyway. And again, the guys are going to be bowling at a little bit of a slower pace than the women because they've got 3 on a pair. The women with only 2 on a pair, so they'll have an opportunity to probably get done a little bit quicker than the guys. And again, if you want to follow the scores of all of the players each game, you can do that by looking at the live scoring. And we've got a link on the results page. And you can find more information on this event at bowl.com/ISC. Bowl.com/ISC. That's where you'll be able to find the results and the link to the live scoring. I know the scoreboards at the top of the screen are a little hard to read, so I'll try to recap the scores for you each game as they finish on the live stream pairs. But you can also look at the live scoring at xbowling.com, or just click the results link underneath the video you're watching, and that'll take you to the list of results and also the link to the live scoring, the direct link, so you don't have to search for it. Still waiting on the guys to finish up. I think that everybody has to finish the game before they move pairs. Chris Vi with a 238. That looks like it is going to be the high score on the guys' side. Oh, nope, sorry, 244 for Thomas York, all the way down on the end. So 244 for Thomas York is the high score for the guys after game 1. And we will see Thomas York for game 2, along with Darren Tang and Dakota Daniels. Danielle McEwen with a split in the fifth, 95 in the fifth frame for her this game. Michaela Douglas getting ready to bowl the fifth frame. Women's pair, they pulled 6 frames. Danielle McEwen 95 in the fifth, a strike in the sixth. Michaela Douglas 74 in the fifth and a spare in the sixth. Our men's pair is in the third frame. Aaron Tang double 9 spare to start. Dakota Daniels spare strike. Thomas York strike, open strike. For those of you just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships here on Bowl TV. We are in game number 2 for both the men and the women. 8 games of qualifying. just got the updated standings after game 1 here, and imagine those should be on the website soon. Thomas York of the Turbo, as we expected, in the lead at 2:44. Chris Vi at 2:38. Brian Bush of Lawrence Tech at 2:35. Gabriel Garcia Ranelli of Weber 2:14, and Kevin Donovan of Notre Dame, Ohio at 2:09. Top 5 on the men's side. On the women's side, Jamie Watson, Wisconsin Whitewater 2:55. Diana Zaviolova of Weber 2:31. Kelsey Muther of Wichita State 2:22. Elise Bolton of Nebraska 2:21, and Jackie Carbonetto of Robert Morris, Illinois 2:13. It's your top 5 on the women after game number 1. Danielle McEwen going to be at about 180 this game. Michaela Douglas can strike out for 194. On the men's side, Darren Tang 92 in the 5th, a strike in the 6th. Dakota Daniels 77 in the 5th, a strike in the 6th. And Thomas York 106 in the 5th, and a spare in the 6th frame. So both of our players on the women's side bowled 180 that game. And it looks like all the women are done with game 2, so they should move the names now. And we'll see who we have here. We'll have Jamie Watson and Tatiana Munoz. Darren Tang with another strike in the 10th will shoot 198. Thomas York can shoot 204. And Dakota Daniels can get to 205. Darren Tang finished at 195. Yeah, they're rolling 8 games of qualifying right now. And then we'll go into match play this afternoon with all of the players advancing. The women are in game 3, the men are finishing up game number 2. Just tuning in, watching live coverage of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships. Qualifying round from the Reno Sparks Convention Center on specially constructed lanes here that are set up for the women's championships. recap the scores on our men's fair. Darren Tang 195, Dakota Daniels 180, and Thomas York 193 as they have finished up game 2. We've still got a couple of pairs with the 8th, 9th, and 10th to go, so it'll be a few minutes before the men's pair gets underway with game 3. About halfway through, or approaching the halfway point of game number 3 on the women's side. Tatiana Munoz, Maryland Eastern Shore, and Jamie Watson of Wisconsin Whitewater. By the way, Danielle McEwen, who just left our featured pair, now has the front 5, one pair to the left. With the spare, so she's clean through 5. In fact, both players clean through 5 frames on our women's match. The men, again, going to get started here with game 3 in just a couple of minutes. They're still waiting on 2 pairs to finish up. They've got to wait till everybody is done with the game before they move. Said McEwen had the front 5, she just left a 10 pin, so her string of strikes comes to an end. Looks like for game 3 on the men's side, we should have Joshua Camacho, Chris Vi, and Devin Bidwell on the featured pairs. Featured pair, I should say. for Game 4 on the women's side. Amanda Van Dunn and Allie Ijams. Hopefully you guys will stick around and tune in this afternoon when we get to match play. Here at the Singles Championships, match play going to start this afternoon, scheduled for 12:45 Pacific time. I imagine it'll be pretty close to that. We did get a little bit of a late start this morning. If you're looking for the scores or the live scoring, you can click the link in the description of this event just below the video, and that will take you to the results page. Or if you don't see that link, you can go to bowl.com/ISC. bowl.com/ISC. Our men's pair is back underway here. Camacho, Vi, and Bidwell. As they are starting Game 3, the women are finishing Game 3 here shortly. Scores are updated after 2 games. Bowl.com, Brian Bush of Lawrence Tech leading the men at plus 88, 488 for Brian. Chris Vi in second place at 4:55. Thomas York third at 4:37. Kevin Donovan fourth place at 4:18, and Devin Bidwell in fifth at 4:17 on the women's side. Kelsey Muther at 4:46 in the lead. Diana Zavialova at 4:26. Samantha Johnson also at 4:26. Elise Bolton 4:20. And Jackie Carbonetto 4:15. That's her top 5 on the women's side. Match play, the singles event is this afternoon. Women's pair finishing up here. Tatiana Munoz shooting 195. And Jamie Watson's last shot here is a strike for 164. So that brings to an end game 3 for the women. The men, again, just in the third frame here of game 3 on our featured pair. Again, they got to wait for everybody to finish the game before they can move and start the next game. So Still waiting on Michaela Douglas to finish down on lane 8 before the women's pairs can all switch. Allie Ijam's also finishing on that same pair. And if you're having a hard time reading the scoreboards at the top of the screen, you can go to the live scoring on X-Bowling and take a look at the frame by frame for any of the lanes here at the Convention Center. It's pretty easy to use. You just click the link, the results page at bowl.com/ISC. And we've got the results as well as the link to the live scoring there. So it'll be a little easier to see the frame by frame on that. And our featured pairs are 21, 22, 23, and 24. So our featured lanes. Men's pair is in game 3 right now. Our women are getting ready to start game 4. Allie Ijams and Amanda Van Dunn are moving on to the featured pairs right now, getting ready to start. So this is just qualifying. The good stuff happens this afternoon when we get into the match play. And I hope that you'll tune back in for that a little bit later on today. It's scheduled for 12:45 Pacific time this afternoon. Those matches are 3 games, total pinfall, 3 rounds of matches. I believe there are some buys in the bracket. And then the final bowlers will make it onto the TV show. The final 4 men and the final 4 women make it onto the TV show. And it is single elimination. And if the bracket's the same as last year, the top 8 men in qualifying here will have a bye. And on the women's side, the top 4 women will have 2 byes. Positions 5 through 8 will have 1 bye. So for the women, it's really important to try to get into the top 4, because if you get in the top 4 here in qualifying, you are 1 win away from getting on to the TV finals. So just to recap where we're at here, the women are in game 4 right now. The men are in game 3. Well, right now, Francois Lavoie has the front 9 on lane 33. Wichita State bowler. We'll let you know if he finishes it out. Unfortunately, don't have any ability to move our cameras here today. Francois is up on the approach right now. And he missed. Looks like he got 8. Well, he got 6. Left to split. Camacho looking at a max of 142. Finishes up the 10th. Devin Bidwell can strike out for 200. Chris Vi can max at 223. So the men are finishing up game 3. The women are just a few frames away from finishing game 4. And they bowl 8 total games. Chris Vi 208, Devin Bidwell 199, and Joshua Camacho 142 on our men's featured pair. Women's pair right now, Ali Ijams 130 in the 8th. Amanda Van Den with 124 in the 7th and a strike in the 8th. So for our next game, on the men's side, game 4, it'll be Zach Rhodes, Tyler Hinselman, and Andrew Samonet. First round of match play scheduled for 12:45 this afternoon Pacific time. 179 for Amanda Van Dunn. Allie Ijam's going to be at 170 with a strike on the fill ball. Going to have Chelsea Stevens and Tanya Ramenper on our featured pair for the women for the next game, game 5. Men's pair in game number 4 right now. They are in the 3rd frame. So after 3 games on the men's side, Brian Bush still in the lead at 679. Chris Vi in second place, 663. Kevin Donovan in third at 657. Francois Lavoie shot 276 that game, moved him up to fourth place at 640. And Thomas York in fifth at 632. On the women's side, after 4 games, Diana Zavialova leads at 865. Elise Bolton 862. Kelsey Muther at 855. Danielle McEwen at 834. And Tanya Ramaper at 806. And we are scheduled to start at 12:45 Pacific time, and I think that looks pretty solid. Players are supposed to have an hour break, but they may only get 45 minutes for the men. The women will have quite a long break to get geared up for match play. The first round of match play, again, going to get started at 12:45 Pacific time this afternoon. That would be 3:45 Eastern for you guys out east. For those of you just tuning in and wondering what's going on here, it's the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships qualifying round. 8 games of qualifying to determine our seeding for the match play bracket. If you want to know more information about this event, go to bowl.com/ISC. bowl.com/ISC. Go to that page, you can click the results link and also find the live scoring where you can see the frame by frame for any lane in the convention center. Women are in game 5, almost at the halfway point. The men are just past the halfway point of game 4. A lot of folks just tuning in. Thank you for joining us here this morning in Reno at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. This is qualifying at the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Thanks for taking some time to join us today. Chelsea Stevens with a double, heading into the 9th and 10th frames of Game 5. Tanya Ramafer with the spare. They're finishing up Game 4 on our men's pair. Zach Rhodes can shoot 191 if he strikes on the fill. Tyler Hinselman can shoot 178 if he strikes out. And Andro can shoot 181 if he makes the baby spare and baby split and strikes on the fill. Andro finished at 170, Zach at 189, and Tyler shooting a 5-pin can get to 168. So low-scoring game from our men's pair. 176 for Chelsea Stevens, and Tanya Ramaper strikes out for 203. So for game 5 on the men's side, Mitch Caddick, Zach Carey, DJ Rose. So underway now on our women's pair, Jackie Carbonetto, Kelsey Luther for game 6. Again, men are in game 5. So the women game 6, the men game 5. Kelsey with a double to start. Again, keep reminding you that the match play will get started at 12:45 Pacific time this afternoon, 3:45 Eastern time. We'll have 3 rounds of 3-game total pinfall matches, and that will determine our final 4 for the men and our final 4 for the women, who advance to the TV finals, which will be taped on Friday here at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Tomorrow is a day off, no bowling. We've got the Night of Champions banquet tomorrow night. No streaming of that, though. We will have a recap of that on bowl.com for you. And on Wednesday and Thursday, we have live streaming all day, both days, of the Intercollegiate Team Championships, the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. And we'll take you all the way up until we know the final 2 teams in each division for TV finals. TV show's going to air every Tuesday in May at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. Updated standings on the men's side. Chris Vi moves into the lead at 9:09. Brian Bush drops down to second at 8:69. Kevin Donovan is third at 8:57. Francois Lavoie in fourth at 8:55. And Zach Rhodes in fifth at 800. So only 5 players at a 200 average or better. On the women's side, Elise Bolton, after 5 games, has moved into the lead at 10:85. Diana Zavialova is second at 10:68. Danielle McEwen third, and Kelsey Luther in fourth. Again, if you want to find the standings and the live scoring where you can see any pair in the bowling center, in the convention center, I should say. Go to bull.com/ISC. Bull.com/ISC. And click on 2014 results. That'll give you the link to the qualifying results and to the live scoring as well. So when we get to match play this afternoon, it's going to be 3 games total pinfall to determine the winners of the matches. Top 8 men in the qualifying standings will have a 1-round bye. On the women's side, there's only 16 players in the field. The top 4 bowlers will have 2 byes. And the next 4 bowlers in the standings, positions 5 through 8, will have 1 bye. Bowling a nice game. Double on the board for her. She can strike out in the 9th and the 10th for 243. Jackie Carbonetto not bowling too bad of a game either. Double on the board for her. She can throw a strike here for 3 in a row. Her max is 235 this game. Jackie Carbonetto finished with a 196 and Kelsey Muther 210. That was game 6 for the women. The men are finishing game 5 right now. 193 for Mitch Caddick. And 180 for DJ Rose. Zach Carey is up right now finishing out his game, and he can strike out for 225. But a wicked 4-pin there for Zach. Game we've got Mariana Alvarado and Catherine Kleinmeyer on our women's featured pair. Men's pair, Jared Erickson, Dominic Luongo, and Perry Crow. Men are about a game behind the women, but that's expected. They've got 3 on the pair. The women only with 2 on a pair, but we are on pace to start on schedule with our match play this afternoon. 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, 3:45 Eastern time will be the first round of matches here. I want to remind you that there are buys in play here in qualifying. The top 8 men in the standings will earn a bye. And on the women's side, top 4 bowlers earn 2 buys. The next 4 bowlers, positions 5 through 8, earn 1 bye. look and see if we have some updated standings, and we do. We've got Chris Vi in the lead on the men's side after 5 games at 11-18. Brian Bush in second at 10-93. Kevin Donovan, third place, 10:58. Francois Lavoie in fourth place, 10:24. And Zach Rhodes in fifth at 10:17. On the women's side, after 6 games, Elise Bolton is leading again, still in the lead at 13:11. Diana Zavialova in second place at 12:60. Danielle McEwen in third at 12:53. Kelsey Muther at 12:49. And Tanya Ramapour at 12:17. If you would like to see those results, they are on the website, poll.com/ISC. Click on 2014 results. Perry Crowell with the front 3 this game on our men's featured pair. Diana Zavialova off to the left of our women's pair. She's going to be coming on to the pair next game. She has the front 5 right now. She is looking to make a big move and jump over Elise Bolton into the top spot going into the last game. Diana just left a 2-pin. see some talk in the chat about the pattern. The women are bowling on one pattern, the men are bowling on another pattern. I don't have any information on what the patterns are, and neither do the players. That information is not revealed and will not be revealed until after the tournament ends. But there are 4 different patterns being used this week. One for the women's singles, one for the men's singles, one for the men's team, and one for the women's team. And they will use the same patterns on the TV show that they use in qualifying and match play. But there are different patterns this year for the men and the women. And Nick Hoagland is here as an independent to develop the patterns and to put the patterns out on the lanes this week. women are finishing up game 7 right now. 2 more frames to go here. Men are in game 6, frame number 7. Nice shot by Mariana Alvarado, Maryland Eastern Shore. 3 in a row for her, heading into the 10th frame. another strike for Alvarado, 4 in a row. She can get to 226 this game. So Alvarado going to be at 215 with a spare. Kleinmeyer can get to 166 if she throws another strike here. And she does, so 166 max for Catherine. So the women are getting ready to start the final game. It's going to be Heather Melvin and Diana Zavialova on the women's featured pair to close out qualifying. The men still have a couple of games to go here. Men are finishing game 6. Women are starting game 8. Diana with a double to start. just a recap for those of you who may be just tuning in or didn't hear it earlier. They bowl 8 games of qualifying, and then we go into the bracket play this afternoon at 12:45 p.m. Pacific time. The top 8 men in the standings will earn 1 bye, and on the women's side, the top 4 women earn 2 byes, and the next 4 women in the standings earn 1 bye. After 7 games on the women's side, Elise Bolton leading by 20 pins over Diana Zavialova. Danielle McHugh in 3rd, Kelsey Muther in 4th, and Tanya Ramanpur in 5th. That is with 1 to go. So it should be a close finish between Diana Zavialova and Elise Bolton. Diana has started with the front 3, and Elise bowling just to her left, double 7 spare to start. But mainly it's about finishing in the top 4. Men's pair finishing up game 6. Jared Erickson with 227. Perry Crowell, if he makes the super washout, will shoot 208. Dominic Luongo can strike on the fill for 224. Game 7 about to begin. On our men's pair, Ryan McCoy, Kevin Donovan, Nathan Majewski. And still this game to go and 1 more for the men. This is the final game for the women. Men's standings after 6 games. Chris Vi in the lead, 1384. Kevin Donovan in second at 1312. Brian Bush is third at 1300. Francois Lavoie in fourth place at 1256. And Zach Rhodes at 1223 in fifth. On the women's side, we already went through it, but we'll do it again here. Elise Bolton in the lead by 20 pins with 15-16 after 7 games. Diana Zavialova in second at 1496. Danielle McEwen in third at 1484. Kelsey Muther in fourth at 1455. Tanya Ramanpur in fifth at 1444. Right now, Danielle McEwen's making a big charge. Strike spare 7-bagger for McEwen, and she can shoot 280 this game. And that might be enough to move her into the top spot. Elise Bolton is clean through 8 frames, but only 1 double. And Diana Zavialova can shoot 235 here on our featured pair. Elise can shoot 222. So McEwen can jump from third to first here. In fact, it looks like she probably will. She just threw the first one in the 10th. That puts her at least in the 260s. Danielle McEwen finished with 279, and that is going to be enough to move her into the top spot after qualifying on the women's side. Looks like our top 4 for the 2-round bye for the women going to be Danielle McEwen, Diana Zavialova, Elise Bolton, and Kelsey Muther. So those 4 players will only have to win 1 match to make it onto the TV show. So they will have a 2-round bye this afternoon, and the next 4 women in the standings, positions 5 through 8, will have a 1-round bye. That is a little bit more up for grabs. And we won't know that until we get the final standings in. Men have about a game and a half to go here. It's the final shot on our women's featured pair. As Diana gets 6 on the fill for 231. Elise Bolton shot 202. Kelsey Muther 212. And Tanya Ramanpur 192. So your top four in the standings, while they changed position, it's the same four bowlers for the women. McEwen, Zavialova, Bolton, and Muther earned 2-round byes here after qualifying. All right, so our men's pair, kind of zoom in on that a little bit for you. 4 in a row for McCoy. As we start to wind down game 7 for the men. Got one full game to go after this one ends. Trying to make the scoreboard a little bit bigger for you guys so it's easier to read. Color combinations kind of made it a little bit challenging with our cameras. There's not much we can do to change that, unfortunately. And with there being 3 men on a pair, the scores are even a little bit smaller on the scoreboards here, so hopefully it won't be a problem this afternoon with only 2 on a pair for match play. Nathan's got 4 in a row going into the 10th. So the Grandview bowler steps up on the left lane here. 220 from McCoy. Donovan 174 and Majewski 224 as game 7 wraps up on our featured pairs. And so the next game should get started here in just a couple of minutes. we're in final game here. Francois Lavoie and Brian Bush, along with Nick Stone on our featured pair for this final game. Heading into this last game, Chris Vi with a big lead at 16:42. Zach Rhodes in second at 15:01. Kevin Donovan third place, 14:86. Francois Lavoie is at 14:73. And Brian Bush at 14:51. That's your top five. The women's final standings, it's just about as we expected. Danielle McEwen led, 17:63 for 8 games. Diana Zavialova is second, 17:27. Elise Bolton third at 17:18. And Kelsey Muther in fourth at 16:67. So those 4 bowlers get a 2-round bye. And the next 4 bowlers in the standings will get 1 bye. Tanya Ramapur, Jackie Carbonetto, Chelsea Stevens, and Mariana Alvarado each receive 1 bye. And you can find those standings on bowl.com/ISC. Just click the 2014 results link to get those standings. And the match play bracket is single elimination. Three games total pinfall. And there is no cut. All of the bowlers advance to the bracket. match play is going to get started at 12:45 Pacific time, which is 3:45 Eastern time. So we'll have, by the time they finish here, about an hour and 15-minute break or so. Nicholas Stone from Toledo working on 4 strikes in a row on our featured pair. Well, 3 frames to go on our featured pair here in qualifying. Hope that everybody will tune back in this afternoon for match play. 3 rounds of matches to determine our TV finalist this afternoon. For those interested to see the bracket for the women, it is posted now. It looks like our first match for the women is going to be Jamie Watson versus Michaela Douglas. Our second round match for the women on the featured pairs will be Jackie Carvanetto against the winner of Amanda Van Dunn versus Samantha Johnson. And then for the third round, on the feature pair for the women, Danielle McEwen will be on as the top seed. Our featured pairs for the women is 21-22. So that'll be coming up this afternoon. Francois finishes with 197. Nicholas can finish at 203 if he makes the split here. And Brian can strike out for 215. Nice split conversion there by Nicholas Stone. It was just moments after Francois made the exact same split. So Brian Bush with another strike. That is 4 in a row for him. That'll do it for qualifying. 201 for Brian Bush. We will be back at 12:45 Pacific time. So about an hour and a half, a little less than an hour and a half from now, with the start of match play here at the Intercollegiate AX Bowling. Very important, shouldn't forget that, Intercollegiate Singles Championships. So we're going to take a break, going to shut it down, and we will get back up and running again at around 12:45 with the start of round 1. So we will see you then. Thanks for tuning in this morning for our live coverage of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles Championships.